A teacher at the school where I serve as chief product officer once asked me whether this particular clip about Elon Musk, in which he was talking about college being optional and mainly a place to make friends.
You don't need college to learn stuff, okay? Everything is available basically for free.
Was actually something that we wanted to do. In her view, it was super polarizing, especially because we were a K-12 school, and because of that, a lot of people left our school and eventually went into college. I think this is a perfect story in which I can go ahead and tell how I particularly see whether a brand can be polarizing or not after directing work for over 60 companies making between $1 million per year and close to $1 billion per year, or actually $500 million per year. When I think about brand, I think about Greek philosophy. I think about this concept of character that Aristotle mentions in his book, The Poetics, and I think about the concept of character. Character in Greek stories, a lot of them at the very least, is seen as sort of like a moral compass. So when you think about Achilles, it seems that there's a particular moral compass that it's kind of influencing whether he does a particular thing or two. So for some people, it seems like the moral compass that is driving Achilles, it's vengefulness. For some other people, it seems that Achilles, what's driving them is the fact that he's heroic. There are a lot of interpretations across colors, but the most important thing is not necessarily whether he's heroic or if he's revengeful. What's important is that people can pinpoint his specific actions to a particular perception that they have. In my work helping companies establish a particular brand identity and perception within people's minds, I like to think less about what's the best way that people could think about us, and I like to think more along the lines of what do people already think about us, and do I like that? I like to ask parents, I like to ask students, I like to ask anyone involved within the school, hey, when you think about us, what do you think about? And if that's that we're revengeful, or that we're heroic, or that we're associated to happiness, or AI, or high achievement, whatever that answer might be, I like to know it so that I can then ask myself, is that the association that I want to have? If it's an association that I want to have, what I want to start doing is just repeating it, sharing messages that enforce that association. And if it's another one that I don't like, what I like to do next is basically say, hey, how may I say different things, act in different ways, hire different people that might build a different perception? So going back to the recent Elon Musk clip that I share, in which Elon is basically saying that colleges are optional, I like to think less about, hey, is Elon Musk a polarizing character? And I like to think more about, is Elon Musk someone that the ideal parent and student from my school would like to associate himself with? When people think about Elon Musk, are they thinking good things? Or are they thinking bad things? And if they're thinking good things, are the people who are thinking those things the kind of parents that I want to have? And if the answer is yes, I might go ahead and say, it doesn't really matter if we're polarizing people by talking about Elon Musk. What matters is that the people who we want, like Elon Musk and all the great things that they believe he does, well, when they think about the good things from Elon, they're going to associate them to ourselves, and we all win. However, if Elon is a figure that people don't like, that my ideal customer doesn't like, then in that case, the polarization that happens by associating myself to Elon Musk is an issue. And that's the key part of this. There's no such thing as bad polarization or good polarization. What there is, though, is the fact that sometimes there are messages that you might say, and there are people who you might associate with that might repel someone that you don't want to have in your company, which is perfect because you don't want bad customers. But if they repel someone that you do want, then that's an issue. In the case of the Elon Musk clip, a lot of our students really love him, a lot of our parents really love him, and most of all, it's not like we're always talking about him. So this particular post that a teacher went ahead and said, hey, this seems a little bit polarizing, Elon Musk is someone that I don't really love. Well, evaluating against what our parents want and what they already desire and love and believe, it seemed like something we could do. And by something we could do, I mean we could talk about him, and even if we might repel some people, it won't hurt business. And having said this, I think one of the most important things that I really want any executive and chief marketing officer, chief product officer in alternative education to keep in mind is that building a perception goes beyond just communication. It also revolves what happens when you're delivering your service. Your job is, if you have any position on the business side of a school, of an ed tech, of anything related to education in which you're changing people's lives, it's precisely to attract more of the right people and repel more of the wrong people. And the wrong people might be just simply families who maybe they won't perceive value in what you offer, or maybe, the level of needs that they have is something that you cannot fulfill. you don't want to say something that might attract them for them to experience a product that goes against what they're expecting. Polarization, more than, when you think about it from a perspective of politics, it kind of seems as just say something to repel someone. In the realm of marketing, it just stems from what I believe to be clarity of messaging. If you're clear about what you offer, about who you do it for, who it is for, and who it's not for, you should be repelling and maybe polarizing some of the people that might not benefit from you. But more importantly, you will be attracting the people who will. And in 6-7 years of directing marketing work, what I've found is that when you repel the wrong people but only attract the right people, you'll be having less sales calls, but then you'll be closing more of those calls. Average order value goes up, average contract value goes up, retention goes up, LTV goes up, CAC goes down, and basically your business metrics improve because you're slowly but surely getting into a position in which you're only serving the people that you're more likely to serve. And to do that, some polarization might be necessary.